What is up, everyone? My name is OJ and welcome to the News Essence. In today's video, we're going to be tackling some of the biggest questions that you guys have, or at least some of the biggest repeat questions that I see on my social media, whether it's PE Live or just various different places, and that is, how does Nintendo sell 20 million units for this upcoming year? So the fiscal year for Nintendo from March to March next year, and also, is a Switch revision likely or possible or anything like that? People have always talked about this stuff to me. They want to get more of my answers, so I decided that I wanted to put out a video on it. On top of that, we also have a release date for Runner 3 on the Nintendo Switch and PC, plus some more details. So let's go ahead and get right into this. And we're going to start off with the Nintendo Switch and how Nintendo is going to sell 20 million units for the fiscal year going from the end of March to the end of March next year. And to me, this is very simple now that we've gotten one more key piece revealed for the second half of 2018, and that is Super Smash Bros. Now, a lot of people didn't think that Nintendo would be able to hit that without some type of big Pokemon or Animal Crossing or something like that, but I do feel that while they're not wrong, I think that it's an addition to what they're going to do. I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised on how much content that there is for the Nintendo Switch in the second half. Now, we recently had the Nintendo Direct, and obviously the big one was Super Smash Bros., right? That game could probably move 10 million units on its own. Heck, Nintendo could just say, this is coming out for the Switch, and you're probably gonna get 10 million people to buy the Switch system just for that game. But it doesn't just stop there, guys. I think learning what we found out for the summer is going to be key in Nintendo probably winning the NPDs and also winning in Japan as well when it comes to the system sales. Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana, Crash Bandicoot, Captain Toad, these are all great momentum setters and just momentum takers, to be honest, man, to where it can just keep your momentum going when it comes to Nintendo Switch. People are going to be buying the system like crazy in July. You're gonna get continued sales hype from E3. All of that is going to carry over into the second half. We're probably going to get a release date for Super Smash Bros. As well. We're probably going to find out when Fire Emblem comes out. That's going to be another game that's going to grab more of the core players. And like I said, man, 10 million for Smash Bros. Alone. Fire Emblem will get you another 2 to 3 million here or there. You're going to get people to buy it for Captain Toad. You're going to get people to buy it for Project Octopath and so on and so forth, man. So I think that it's actually really easy once you start adding up the amount of games, even from what we know right now. Once you start adding that amount, Nintendo has done a great job at segmenting the quarters, segmenting what you're going to get at a timely fashion. Because if you look at it, they let us know in January, hey, this is what's coming out for the next couple months. Those games have came out, great, people are happy. And then now in March, we just had another direct. Okay, this is what you're gonna get from April, June, July. And then at E3, they're gonna say, hey, this is what you're gonna get for the next 3 or 4 months. And they'll probably have another direct, talk about what you're gonna get for the end of the year, then also going into the next year as well. So I think Nintendo's done a fantastic job with that. And honestly, that's what's really going to take it. Smash Bros. Is going to be the driving factor to get to that 20 million, and I think it's really easy at this point. Now, I knew that Nintendo was already going to have some big hitters so they can get to that 20 million. Obviously, you can't just have nothing. It was just silly seeing how some people were saying, oh, well, Nintendo has no games announced, so there's no way that they're going to get to that. I'm like, well, they're going to announce games. Obviously, they're working on stuff, but people thought that they really spent all of their games, I guess, in the first year, right? Or the first calendar year with Mario and with Xenoblade and all that. And I'm like, yeah, right. Nintendo has a lot more franchises than that, and there's definitely going to be more. And like I said before, the added factor of portability is going to give that boost that you usually don't see in Japan. So Japan's going to be a big player into getting into that 20 million. Heck, if they have the units, if they have the stock, Dragon Quest 11 is going to be a major driving factor. Even though it already launched on the Nintendo 3DS and also on the PlayStation 4, the Switch version is where it's really going to be at, especially if it's a quality port, because you're going to get those Unreal Engine 4 graphics and you're gonna get the portability of that right there in Japan. I think it's gonna be a perfect fit for it. So we have to wait and see how that's gonna do as well. Plus there's other games that still have yet to be announced as well in terms of third-party stuff. So there's gonna be a lot of different stuff coming in. There's gonna be a lot of factors that play into this. And I still feel that Nintendo is going to have Metroid Prime 4 or Pokemon, or even potentially both of those in 2018. And if that happens, we're looking not at 20 million, we're wondering whether it's going to be 25 to 30 million in that next fiscal year. Honestly, if they have all of those Smash, Fire Emblem, Metroid Prime 4, and Pokemon all in 2018, it's going to be 30 million if they have the stock there. If they can get that out, it's honestly going to be that high, maybe even more, because that is a killer lineup of games for people to play and go out there and pick it up. And the only thing that's probably holding you back is the amount of units that you can produce. So what do you guys think about it when it comes to Nintendo's 20 million unit fiscal year projection? Do you guys feel that they're going to hit it with Super Smash Bros? What games do you feel that they're going to add on top of that in order to reach the goal? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And moving on to the next topic here, we're going to be discussing the Nintendo Switch revision. There have been multiple different questions posed on this. Digital Foundry recently did a video talking about the potential of a brand new Nintendo Switch and what Nintendo could do from there based on like the SoCs and what Tegra has and all that. And I wanted to give my 2 cents about it just because this is something that people ask me so much. And Digital Foundry and the people who are tech savvy are probably going to be more knowledgeable about these certain things in terms of what they can do. I suggest making sure that you watch the videos, but I wanted to give my probability of it happening. And I would say the probability of Nintendo releasing a Nintendo Switch that's more powerful, that can do more things in the next couple years is very, very high. You know why it is? Because even before the Nintendo Switch was out, Nintendo has done this before. The Nintendo 3DS, one of Nintendo's successful systems, did this. The new Nintendo 3DS actually has a little bit more juice than the regular Nintendo 3DS, and it can actually run games a little bit better. So the fact that Nintendo did this before with the 3DS, and even dating back to the DS, they actually did this with the Nintendo DSi that had a little bit more juice when it came to RAM and everything, had some exclusive features. I think you needed that to access like the first makings of the eShop that Nintendo did back then. So Nintendo's been doing this for a while, right? You have the regular Game Boy, then you have the Game Boy Color. Having color is actually a pretty big deal when it comes to it. So they're always looking to upgrade their portable devices. Any device that can be played portably, Nintendo's had a history of upgrading those devices. And I think the Nintendo Switch, considering that yes, it can be played portably, considering that they want to make sure that the system lasts for 6 years plus, they want it to go longer than a normal console life cycle, then yeah, I definitely think that we're going to see some type of custom, not necessarily something off the shelf. I think we're going to see some type of custom chip built specifically for the Nintendo Switch 2 or the Nintendo Switch Plus or whatever they're going to call it, because that's something that Nintendo always does. I think this is the first time that we've really seen Nintendo kind of just take something off the shelf, right, with the Tegra X1 and slap it in the Nintendo Switch, mainly because they didn't want to put all of their chips into the system, and if it was to fail, then what you've got? Then you've got a bigger problem. You want to be able to ditch the system with the incurring as little as cost as possible. So I think Nintendo kind of played it safe, but at the same time took a pretty big risk doing the type of system that the Nintendo Switch is. So they gambled, but then again, they didn't gamble the whole house on things. So I do feel with this, now that the Nintendo Switch is a super popular system, it is successful, they are really going to take their time with NVIDIA and they're going to make a custom SoC. That's what I think is going to happen. They're going to make a custom chip. They're going to slap that in the Nintendo Switch in a few years, and that is going to be the next Nintendo Switch that can not only play the previous games that we had, no problem, but then also handle some of the more advanced games out on there on that mobile chip. So that's what I think is going to happen, and I think that would be great, right? I think that if you look at the whole console generations, they've been a pain for developers. Developers actually hate them, to be honest. Developers think that, you know what, every single time we have to redo completely different things, we have to re-bring up this and re-bring up that. So a lot of developers and third-party tools have been developed so where the transitions aren't as bad. For example, like Unreal Engine 4, for example. I'm pretty sure Unreal Engine 4 is still going to be around when the PlayStation 5 comes out or when the next Xbox comes out, and you're going to be able to use that. Look at the Xbox One X, which is a pretty big leap over the Xbox One S and the Xbox One. That right there, easy to get your games over. A lot of the games that are already out perform better on the Xbox One X because of that. So I think that that's really what the future is going to be, just naturally evolving the hardware, and Nintendo's been doing that with the portables for a long time. Now they still have their this is the next system, but I think this is where the buck stops, because you have a system with HD already built in. This is where they say, okay, there's no need for us to completely redraw everything. That's going to take forever, like it's done before in the past, and that's going to be super expensive. Let's just go ahead and take what we have and continue improving upon that. And you're seeing that quite a bit with some of the games that they've already been releasing, some of the stuff that they've been doing. Heck, the new Yoshi game, for example, is Unreal Engine 4. That's something that's already out there. Let's not remake a whole new engine for this on the Nintendo Switch. Let's just go ahead and use something that's already out there. So I think as developer tools get more friendly, as Nintendo continues to research the technology and mobile chips and what they can do from a custom SoC and what they can do for the next Nintendo Switch or whatever they're going to do next, it's just going to get better and better for us gamers. and be able to just really evolve naturally instead of saying, okay, well, this is the whole next generation, and is this thing going to be backwards compatible? Who knows if it's going to be backwards compatible, which is always the most scariest thing for gamers out there, is whether they're going to be able to play all of their old games that they spent thousands of dollars on the next system. So that's the one thing that I think Nintendo's going to do. They're just going to take that SoC, they're going to roll with NVIDIA, and they have a hit, right? They have something that works with the portability, the Joy-Cons and all that. There's no need to change that up. There's no need to change it up. Add on to that, add on labos and different types of stuff that you can do in order to get more of a user base, and then really just continue driving home the great core games that you deliver to gamers, to get expanded audience games like Kirby and Yoshi and Super Smash Brothers, while also getting those core games like Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Odyssey and things like that, man. So what do you guys think about my analysis on the whole thing when it comes to Nintendo and then potentially evolving the chips and using something different for like a new Nintendo Switch? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving into the final article here, we have the confirmation of a May 22nd release date for Runner 3 on the Nintendo Switch. This is something that was brought up in my PE Live segment that I did earlier today, and I already knew about it, but I just wanted to give shout outs to the person who did bring it up. Thank you. I do appreciate that. But yes, Runner 3 is launching this May 22nd to be exact. May is going to be a packed month for Nintendo Switch releases. We have Runner 3, we have Street Fighter, the collection, the 30th anniversary collection, we have Dark Souls, we have Donkey Kong, and we have Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for the US and for Europe. That is actually launching, I think, in a couple of weeks in Japan. It's launching pretty soon in Japan in terms of Hyrule Warriors, but this is fantastic news for gamers out there. You have a lot of different options, from ports to new games to collections to all sorts of stuff to remasters. There's a great selection of games, but Runner 3, let me tell you guys a little bit about this game, because Runner 3 is one of my favorite newer age franchises out there. Although it started back on the Wii, it's still one of my favorite, because Runner 3 is going to be that game that really makes you say wow with this franchise. The graphics are looking spectacular, very on point. I love the art style of this game. The fluidness of what they're doing is just so good from what they've shown off. There's also going to be a retail edition. You can have details on that. There's like an art book, or there's like a sound selection CD. There's some great stuff in there. Nicholas is publishing that one, so if you want more details, check out the link. But I'm just finally excited to get the release date, because remember, this game was supposed to drop last year. I thought it was going to drop sometime around Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but they ended up delaying the game for more polish, in order to get it more polished, and that is fine by me. There was too many games out last year, but now there's too many games out this year, because May is a big month. I might just wait on Dark Souls because of this game. That's how much I love Runner, guys. It is a fantastic franchise. It does all of the things right when it comes to classic gameplay. It has tons of retro levels in there. They detailed some of the new moves we'll be able to do. I'm really looking forward to this one, and I'm going to be playing the heck out of it on stream for you guys. So what do you guys think about Runner 3 launching this May, in addition to what I thought about with Nintendo and getting to 20 million units, and also a brand new Nintendo Switch revision or revised version Nintendo will do? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of PlayerSense across the webs, in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming page. Consider supporting PlayerSense. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emotes via YouTube sponsorship. So check out the link in the description below. Consider supporting PlayerSense right here on YouTube. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerSense for the latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.